So I just wanted to share with you all the coil vessel that I left off of. Last video, it was 10 inches tall, and I did mention that I was going to continue it for myself. And so I did. I just wanted to share with you some things that you might want to incorporate into your vessel. So this piece, keep in mind, is quite larger than your required 10-inch vessel. This has gotten now to 15 inches tall, and I will just spin it for you so that you can see. And keep in mind that maybe for your vessel, you will decide that you don't want to just keep a nice symmetrical rim at the top. You may want to make it a little bit asymmetrical and have slight variations. So my idea, I love organic floral forms. And so that's what I was thinking about when I was making this. I love irises, and so I thought I'd make a very tall vase for irises that can be pretty large as well. But I just wanted to show you, I'll come closer and show you that, as well as the bottom, the foot. So the foot's all cleaned up and nice. Got a little signature mark there. Don't forget to initial and or put your full name into the bottom of your vessel. And this, I just wanted to show you, you can get pretty decorative at the base, or that's what I chose to do, by adding a coil. And it does just give a nice different quality of a line, as you can see as I attempt to rotate it so that you can see how that might work. And then it also, at the same time, you can see from afar as it sits, it just gives it another dimension, right? It gives it some height. It gives a foot, like a hand-built foot in there, which can be really pleasing to the eye. So that's something that you might want to incorporate. You could, put a coil around. So I added a coil, and then I just took my sponge and a rib and just smoothed it out, made sure it really was joined well to the piece, so there is no possibility of it pulling off. I did not slip and score it, but you could if you wanted to do that. And then I just want to briefly talk about the rim, right? I could have stopped and just used my sponge to really soften those edges, but when it was fairly wet, I wanted to go in and make it flare out like so. So it just creates a whole other different shape. And then this is just, just bent. So what I did when I was working, I just took my finger, right? I held the clay to support it with my left hand, and I just kept using water on my finger, slip on my finger, and I just pressed into that enough where it could bend and start to create this drooping effect. And then I added some slip on the end, just wet clay slip to make it even droop more and create that. It's kind of like a petal, lily, not really sure. But then, you can also just flare it out and it becomes a nice, different line. So I just wanted to share with you all that. Thought it would be fun for you to see. I didn't do too many finishing techniques. I could have certainly added handles. There's videos on how to do that if you choose to incorporate that into your vessel. There's different carvings you could do, but I just thought I would show you my finished piece. One thing I want to do mention is this: if you were to touch it, if you were in person, you could touch this and see how smooth. It's like, I call it like a baby bottom smoothness to it. And that just means that I took another mud tool like this. It's very, very flexible. I know this does not come in your toolkit, but it's just more information for you to know that you can do what's called burnishing onto a clay surface to make it really, really smooth. And what burnishing does, unlike a sponge, if you were to take it to the surface with your sponge, it would reveal the grog. It would pull the grog up to the surface, and it would not make it smooth. It would make it, I'm sure many of you have already experienced that. If you wipe enough with your sponge, it brings up the grog and it makes it a really kind of rough, bumpy texture to it. So keep in mind, just so you know, you can do this too with your metal rib. So as I was building my vessel, as you saw in many of the videos, I used the metal rib that comes with your toolkit. But there's also these mud tools, again, that are, like a silicone plastic material, and they're really great just to compress and go back in all directions, right? Just kind of back and forth. And if you do that many times as you build, it becomes a really, really smooth surface. It's not that you have to do that, but the reason for that is it makes it that much more luscious and smooth, and it takes glaze when it is time to glaze your vessel to have a nice surface, and that'll just be a nice, soft, smooth surface for the glaze. So just wanted to share that all with you, and I do hope your surface decorations are going well, and I can't wait to see them.